I like cheese on toast. I like cheese on toast and cheese. Okay, so I realise that I am a few weeks late for this particular entry, and that is because it's been a little bit of a wild ride to get to the final product, which I shall now explain. So back in 2019, when the world was still an innocent little cherub and Australia wasn't on fire, we were tasked to build maquettes, and we all knew that we were going to be building maquettes as soon as we came back, and I sort of forgot, and then along came the maquette building session, and everyone seemed to have a much better knowledge of how to build a clay model than me. Nevertheless, as of the day I am currently recording, I did finish my maquette, so it is now on display and looking spectacularly terrible. I've also just realised that putting entry 1 and 2 isn't really accurate. It should be week 1 and 2, but whatever. Also, I don't have any images other than the final product because I didn't know what I was doing half the time. And also I forgot. So maquette building is pretty simple once you get to know it. We started off with this sort of square board, which we then drilled holes in using the pillar drill, and we had to get an induction for that. We also had to get an optional induction for the hot wire, which is basically like, it's a hot wire, and you use it to sculpt polystyrene and foam and stuff like that. Anyway, by drilling 2 holes in that piece of wood, we therefore created a foundation of which our character could stand on. Not everyone went with this. Some people went for a more unconventional technique of getting a block of wood and then getting some metal to stick out of it and have it come out of the character into that block of wood instead of having the character standing on it, which actually looked a lot better, but that was too advanced for me. The idea was that this base would just give the character a solid standing, and it wouldn't just have to just like lean against something. You would stand up straight. And to that end, mine did. Next, you actually had to make the character, which involved, for me, a lot of newspaper, and then covering that up in tinfoil, and then sticking metal wire and metal pipe into it to create rough arms and legs and heads, and then covering that in tinfoil, so the wire in tinfoil and then the body in tinfoil. And then, once that's done, you can cover it in polystyrene clay, and then once that's done, you can start smoothing it over with water, and that makes it look all neat and tidy, and so all the cracks and stuff that are there disappear. And unfortunately, whilst I don't have any pictures of me making it, I do have pictures of the final product. So here it is. First of all, just to clear the air, I've never done something like this before in my life, so that is why it is terrible quality. On that note, I am very pleased with the way the body came out. Before I actually put clay on it, actually no, probably after I put clay on it, and it started coming together, it looked very good. And I was actually very pleased with the sort of dimensions I got, which I had measured out. I did have to extend the legs a bit though, because they were way too short when I first did them. So negatives, really, where to begin? Antenna, eyes, pincers. Pincers, one is bigger than the other. Antenna, just sloppily done. Eyes, I could have added a bit more to them. Axes, they're just terrible. They're the things that with tinfoil on them. Those were very last minute things, as was the sword that's tucked into his belt. The sword he's holding is not mine. It was made, someone else made it, and they were just wondering if anyone wanted it because they didn't need it, so I said yes. The quiver on the back, that's alright. I could have added feathers, but I didn't have much time to do this. Well, I say I didn't have much time, I mean I was doing most of these things. I did all the accessories today, and today was really the day that it was meant to be done. Apart from that, yeah, most of it I don't really like, but the body is good and it gets across the point fairly well, so I'm happy with it. The end. At best, I rate it as mediocre. I'm really not happy with the way it turned out. A couple of redeeming features, sure, but apart from that, I'm not happy with it. If I can improve it, I would, but there we go. I am attending a maquette session tomorrow and also the week after. I missed the first one. Hopefully that isn't a huge deal, but yeah. You would be wrong, however, if you think this would have crushed my spirits. Nay, it has merely inflamed them, and more determined than ever to make a decent maquette at some point. If I could describe it as a cupcake, it would be a cupcake that you are so glad it's over because it's sloppily made. Yeah, that's the best I got for this session. Hopefully this has been intriguing for you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!